Well, those specific calls, which all turned out favorable for us, right, are, I guess, we talked about being a preparation program, in here before and how we prepare and situationally wanting to make sure that we've evolved to, again, avoid, we're going to, the emphasis of avoiding bad football, which we'll continue to do, and growing into situational awareness and executing in those kind of critical situations. Those are things that you rep, for however long till you need them. And you kind of go into those situations and you know that these are calls that are available to make. And then the credit to the kids to, we call it dial them up, and it works out well, right? Because if any one of those don't work, they're not a good call anymore, right? So their preparation to be able to go out there with a timely call when it comes up in the game worked out great. Proud of the guys for being able to do what they're doing right now, because that's good stuff to put on film. Well, I don't know, because they complemented probably things that we had done before, things that we had filmed, and we put on film and situational football. Sometimes, really, when you look at a game, if things are going as planned for you as an offense, you're really not making a lot of calls out of your gut, at least how we prepare and the way we do things, right? Hopefully everything is kind of mapped out and you're executing the way you want to situationally, and you're like, okay, hey, when we have 3rd and 6, we know we're going to call these plays, right? And that's how you practice. And so it just, those situations came up and we called them, and it wasn't like, oh, I got the perfect call. It wasn't that way at all. It was more, here's what we had practiced, here's what we prepared, here's what we felt comfortable with calling. So kids went out and did it.
How much were you able to, I guess, add to or script or adjust when you had the weather delay?
We didn't really change. We didn't adjust at all. What it allowed us to do was to go in and just talk about what we had seen them do. It was basically a halftime adjustment that was an hour long, okay? And you got some time to just sit down as a staff and digest every play that we ran. You keep a record of those things on a sheet of paper, and we talk about what had happened and what we saw upstairs in the box. So we get on the same page as staff, and then you go to the kids and you talk about this is what it was and this is how it went. And then you come and then you say, here's what is still good. Here's what's good. Here's what's going to be good in the call sheet. This is why it's going to be good. And so you have a little time for a little extra time to sit there and kind of take like I said, an extended halftime break and say, hey, here's why it's going to be good. But to be able to do that for a lot more plays than maybe the halftime scramble that you have of, the 10, 15, 20 plays that you're going to, you got to call in the second half. So it was just an extended variation of halftime. And I think our guys did a fantastic job handling that. They really, really did. And you could kind of see that, how we were able to execute after the break. Stayed prepared, stayed fresh between the equipment staff, the training staff, and the strength staff, keeping everybody ready, hydrated, fed, towels everywhere, right? Keeping things dry. You talk to Darren, shout out to Darren, our equipment manager. He's just like, I've never had the game where we've used so many towels. And there was probably thousands of towels that had to be used in that game to keep things dry. And so credit to everybody to be able to come out of that weather delay, which is the first of my career, to be able to go out there and continue to execute. Well, a little bit. I think it probably goes back to just you're making a lot of first and second down calls, and you're staying on the field and you're making more calls and you're finishing those drives. And so, like I said, if you're staying on schedule, you just it's kind of mapped out for you, right? Because you can just kind of keep stacking, and keep building off of what you've already called and things that they're going to complement it, because you should be game planning that way anyway, which we do, right? I think you try to have things complementary, and that these are half calls that you might make in the second half, or you're going to try this in the first quarter, and you maybe have compliments to it, or you'll go back to it, or whatever it is. And so, I wouldn't say there's a feel right to it. It's more just it's happening, right? You're calling first down plays and you're getting another first down, so it allows you to call another one. And then so the more plays that you get called, the more opportunities our guys have to be explosive. Right. Mm-hmm. Do coordinators catch fire? No, they don't. I don't think so. It's literally, listen, I didn't block a person, throw a pass, catch a ball, right? Right? So the kids and what they do and their ability to execute is what allows us to stay on the field. And I'm super pumped for how they go about their preparation and their current ability to execute, because that is what it is, right? If we drop those passes, if we fumble the snap or whatever it is, okay, those aren't good play calls anymore. right? Why the hell would you call that play? That's what that becomes, right? So it's them. So no, I don't think, whatever. You could ask a different coordinator. Ask Coach B. See if Coach B feels like he caught fire ever in his career. I don't think so. No.
Coach, Jalen hasn't been sacked yet.
Great. You brought it up again. Great. Yeah. Yep.
Throughout the first 3 games of last year, he got sacked, or not him, but Jason Dean got sacked 7 times. So just how do you keep that going?
Well, we talked about it last week, and the answer is the same. The fact that you're able to stay out of predictable situations, which specifically is 3rd and long. Okay. The more 3rd and long that you have, the more likely you are going to have to turn the ball over, and you're going to have sacks, which are going to be bad plays. So if you can get the run game going, which we've been able to do, if you can complement it with the balance that we want to have and that we game plan for with our ability to pass the ball and play action, and then the way that we're able to create stress with the different personnel groupings and ball distribution, as I'd say to all the other guys. So if you can stay out of predictable situations and be good on 1st and 2nd down, you have a chance to be efficient on 3rd down, which we've been, and then you're going to avoid those sack downs, right? Now, so it's a credit to everybody, right? Because as I addressed last week, I talked about, usually when bad things happen in a football game, it's because there's a lot of little things that go wrong, okay? An issue with protection, route wrong way, maybe a drop with the quarterback is bad, right? And so when we get in situations where we do throw the ball, okay, the fact that our guys are all, as a group, all 11 guys in the field, be able to execute and do what they're doing, that's how you avoid sacks. Obviously, the offensive line and Jalen, what they're doing, and the running backs and protection, knowing what they're doing. We don't have guys that just blow free, right? Guys aren't getting home on schematic blitzes, or there's mental errors in the backfield, or right now, whatever, the right guard didn't block his guy. That stuff's not happening. So, again, it goes back to our kids' preparation and their understanding of what the protections are, okay, the situation, right, and then be able to execute when it comes up.
What are the challenges of going against a very disciplined and larger defense?
Well, that's a great question. So when you go against a group that's really refined and disciplined in what they do, you still want to do things and be who we are and challenge that discipline, right? Okay, and see, how disciplined are they going to be, right? But it is hard, right? When you play a well-coached team, which they are, you definitely say to yourself, okay, it's not as likely this guy's just going to stumble and fall and, fall for, the guy going this direction, and so then when that happens, it will come down to your ability to do the fundamental things well. And that's, are we going to be able to block? Are we going to be able to catch? Are we going to be able to run? The way we expect our guys to do. And, I want to see some of that on Saturday, for sure.
How are you guys able to carry over your offensive success? How are you able to carry that over from week to week?
Well, you take it one at a time, right? You know what I mean? Like anything. As the season goes on, and I've talked about it here before, you have to evolve, right? Your offense has to evolve. The things you put on film, you can't just turn around and run it again the very next game. Okay, at least we believe that. So you have to have the ability within what you're doing schematically and then also your players' capabilities to learn and grow and continue to evolve. So you have to do that offensively, but then you have to be able to every week, if you just kind of focus on the process, right, which we are, we're very that's one of our core values, right, is really to trust the process and focus on it. Then you're just, every week is the same. There's the routine and the structure that we apply. You can win by 50, you can lose by 50, but what you do on Sunday through Friday, it's not going to change because it works. What we do works. And so guys understand that we'll evolve, we'll add more to the scheme, we'll tweak and do things that we're doing well a little bit different to make it, better for us in this upcoming game and in the future ones. But you just keep playing games one at a time, right? And again, I said this last week, we haven't gained a single yard against Duke yet. We haven't scored a touchdown, we haven't got a first down, right? So let's worry about those, and focus on getting one of those before we do anything else, building on what happened in the past. Well, yeah. Right, I think when you play long seasons and you play long games, okay, the things that you put on tape, you always have to continue to, like I said, I'll use the word evolve, right? We talk in our program a lot about same as teaching. Okay, we're going to do this. This is just like this play for you before. Oh, got it, coach. Right? Okay? And I think good teams do that, right? They have the ability to evolve as an offense and a defense and special teams based off of they're your personnel, right? Whatever happens, weather, all of a sudden it starts raining like we had last week. Right? What on the call sheet isn't going to be as good anymore, okay, because of how wet and sloppy the ball is, okay? you have to move forward always and continue to expand and grow and grow and grow. And you know, we don't ever want to get stale. We don't ever want to get bored. We don't ever want to get to the point where we stop preparing and trying to go out there and play every game as though that's the most important one. And so if you approach every game that's the most important one, you're going to work really hard to make sure that you're on your P's and your Q's, that you're doing everything you can as a player and a coach to make sure that we're going to go out there and execute.
You're recruiting Kansas City zone right now. What are you seeing from recruits? Just reaction, maybe a little bit more responsive?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, right? And I understand that, right? Okay, we'll see how you're doing, right? Okay, doing good so far, right? Okay, we're still taking it one game at a time, but you know, I'm happy for everybody with, you know, the success that has come lately. But like I said, we still haven't gained a yard against Duke, so we got to make sure and focus that we're doing that. But it's been positive. They're obviously engaging and interacting, and as you know, this is a special place, right? And it's been starving for good football, and people get excited when it's occurring.
Your family is as excited as the fans. You guys get it, the coaches, parents, and kids, and children, and their wives.
Yeah, they're happy. I wish I had something that would, you know, was witty to say, and my wife's whatever. I don't know if she's ever happy with me, but she is. She's awesome. Lindsay, love you. Yeah, they're awesome, right? My son's in middle school. He's playing football, middle school football. He's putting his pads on for the first time, and he just deals with his own games and practices right now, and how hot it is, and you know, the same thing. But yeah, it's the community, right? It's Lawrence, Kansas, and it is. It's a special place, as we know this. Since we've been here, how many ever months it's been? 15. I mean, everything around town's a Jayhawk for a reason, right? Everyone wears the crimson and blue, right? Everyone, that's what it is. And when you have a team and a community that's been starving for good football, when they start to get fed a little bit of that, you can feel the energy start to grow. And it's a cool thing to be a part of. So I'm fired up for what Saturday is going to be like. And it sounds like our crowd's going to be pretty good. We don't know where we're at with that, but that's going to be awesome. And so our fans to get crazy, right? When our defense is on the field in the third down, to give us a home field advantage and going nuts, making noise, and of course to be quiet when we're on the field, right? But that's the stuff that you can feel around town. Not that I've been able to leave the office at all really lately, but my wife says it's pretty thick out there.
How do you like Dylan's style of play when he runs the ball?
Very, very natural ball carrier, right? That's the thing that he does that's really unique to him. In very few quarterbacks out there, is that he has great vision. He has vision like a running back, okay? And he has balance like a running back. And as a ball carrier, you can do things schematically that allow him to be that kind of ball carrier, right? Instead of maybe, you know, some quarterbacks, they can run and make things happen and everything's just maybe more perimeter oriented or they're just fast. But he's got really good vision. And he's been able to find a lot of holes, if you will, you know, that like a running back would find. So really impressive as a ball carrier. All right, appreciate y'all.